but it doesn't mean that you automatically put yourself down, because you're still worth it and you can still do whatever you want to become bigger than them. Because not everything lasts forever, and at the same time, you can't let yourself start to like belittle yourself, really, for sure. Because everyone else seems to be doing better than you when in reality it's really not.
What's up? Welcome to the first episode, the very first episode of In My Honest Opinion, and that's our show. And we're going to be coming on here. We're going to be talking about different things, just any events, situations in society that we think are interesting and that we have opinions on. And I know that you will have opinions on. So we're just going to be sharing our opinions on any situation in society, anything that we see around us, basically. It's really, there's no limits to what we can talk about. So this is going to be our first video, so hope you guys enjoy this situation. Wait, I gotta do it first. And just a quick disclaimer, really, for the whole channel. This is just the way that we are gonna conduct this. The whole point of this is that we can have a good discussion about our opinions and the way that we see things based on our own personal perspectives and views and our own experiences. So there's no right answers. There's no right or wrong opinions. It's not necessarily based on facts. So, that's just the way it's going to be. We're going to be talking about our own opinions on things. And so our personal, honest opinions on these topics.
All right. And to start us off, we're going to be doing kind of a mini-series to start off, since we're pretty much just fresh out of high school. I started college, and you're starting in a couple months. And so we felt like best for us is to start off with some high school experiences and topics that have to do with that.
Yeah.
So the first few videos are going to be all tie in to high school.
Yeah, not necessarily the first few, but just like there's going to be a group of videos that are all related to high school situations.
And it's not even so much for high school, because now as we're moving on, a lot more middle schoolers are having to deal with high school problems, and it obviously it still goes on further into college. It's just we're not there yet. So today's episode, first of all, we're going to be talking about a good problem, not a good problem, a big problem that a lot of teens know about, but we don't seem to do anything about, really.
I mean, people talk about it a lot, but it's not like we're paving the way for this situation. But this is a topic that a lot of people have, and a lot of people talk about it.
And what we're going to be talking about is social media and basically the negative effects it has on people. We're not trying to say just high schoolers, because this goes to obviously a lot more. There's definitely adults that have problems just having to do with social media.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. A lot of people, you see a lot of content creators and all that on social media, especially YouTube, and they talk about the problem of social media. But usually there are older people. There are usually older people. Yeah. So while the problems obviously still exist, no matter how old you are, it might be interesting to hear our perspective from people who are, just out of that environment. So,
and we'd like to start off with how. Social media, it first began really with trying to stay connected with your friends after high school and after college or whatever. It's just like Facebook was really the big original one, right?
I think so. Well, before Facebook, there was like MySpace and all
that. MySpace, but
I don't know about that.
but it was mainly to stay in touch. But now it's evolved so much, and it's so toxic that's what we feel like. That's what we got to talk about. Obviously, there is pluses to social media, because me and you always be sending memes to each other. There's people that you might want to reach out to that you haven't seen in a long time. But that's not even what it's used for anymore, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I feel like even though we're just out of high school, there's already so many people I thought were maybe somewhat close that have already just we're done. I already don't see them as friends anymore. Just like I said, I talked to you about this one time. I had one friend from middle school. And we were pretty good friends, and we went to different high schools, and I didn't get to talk to him that much, but we still had each other followed on Instagram. Yeah. But ever since then, I've still haven't talked to him.
That don't mean nothing. If you want to talk to somebody, you obviously are gonna have to, reach out to them.
Yeah, there's no point in going to follow someone, and then the next week you want to follow them just to see you're more popular. Yeah, it's the dumbest thing too. But what really hurts is when what you thought was your friend did it. Because I said, that one kid from middle school, we were good friends. And I know even though we didn't talk, I thought we were still friends. But then one day I realized I've been following this jit for like all high school, and at one point then he just unfollowed me.
But I mean, that's a problem right there, though. Like, that shouldn't really mean much.
I know it's
like that's something. I think that problem with social, like, you know what I mean. Like, to you, it shouldn't have been like, damn. Like, it's like,
I thought we were friends though. That's what I
like,
like.
you never talked to him since middle school, though. You never talked to him in 4 years. You never talked to him in 4 years, and you just assumed that you were still friends.
Yeah, but what's the point? I'm saying, what was the point to unfollow?
I don't know. He's probably like, I haven't talked to him in 4 years, so why I haven't followed?
I guess.
If your goal isn't to be an influencer, you don't need to be tryharding on Instagram.
And
tryharding for following, like, all that stuff. It's not serious.
Along with that, like you said, there's no reason for me to care about me, like
him unfollowing.
About him unfollowing. Like,
yeah.
But that's like another thing that social media adds is that it makes everyone seem to care more about what other people are doing than what yourself is.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm not even gonna sit here and say like, oh, I didn't care. Like, it kind of did bother me because we were pretty good friends in middle school.
Yeah.
But like, there's nothing I could do about it.
See, that's a problem though. It bothered you that he unfollowed you, but like also at the same time, you never like hit him up. You never hit him up anyway. Throughout that whole 4 years after middle school.
That's true.
So like it gives like a pseudo friendship. Like, you think you're,
but you're gonna finish it.
No.
But like as I said, I mean, I feel like a main thing is that people are too worried also about what other people are doing. And I'm saying as my fault included, which I feel like over like this whole pandemic that we've been kind of more isolated. I feel like I've gotten more in my right mind to not care about what other people are really doing as much, and I'm not on social media as much. But I feel
that's interesting. I feel like a lot of people, it's the opposite right now.
That's probably true. A lot more people probably because they have nothing else to do. And I also felt this too myself when I would go on social media and I would see people like having fun going on a cruise or people just like being live at a party or something. But like this leads into like you always wanting more and thinking what you're doing is boring. And it's, and it's also it also like when you're the one taking the video, it makes you give out a false sense of like how it is. Because I think all of us have been there where we've seen people taking videos of a live thing, like of a party, like it literally turns up for like 10 seconds, everyone takes a video, done, the party's dead the rest of the time. Not even just for a party, but there's definitely times where everyone makes it seem more hyped up.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. It's like two things. One is that, you know, we kind of we go on social media to create an image of ourselves. And we naturally in social situations we naturally want to be liked. Like that's what we want to do. And usually what it would be is just like in person when you have a conversation with somebody, you kind of, you know, do whatever you want to, whatever you need to do in that conversation to kind of make them like you. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, social media takes that and it carries it with you all the time.
Yeah.
So you're always trying to get that image. And whatever you have to do to get that image, that's what you're going to do. So parties or whatever, if you want to take the video so that people, sometimes you want to take it for memory. Sometimes you're taking it so that other people know what you're doing. That's another thing I wanted to say, is that social media kind of encourages us to succeed only when other people are watching us. Mm-hmm. And we only want to make strides in our lives when we can tell people that we're making strides in our lives. We only want to do things when other people can watch us do them. We don't want to do it for ourselves. We're doing it for other people, and it makes you live for other people.
I feel like a main problem is just that's like you said earlier, is people only taking stuff and posting it to just show off their own lives. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what all social media is at this point. Yeah, because it's just everyone trying to show off how much they've been working out, how good looking they are, like what they're eating, all the cool places they're going to, like whatever like their parents just bought them, and that's what I'm saying, and that it just keeps leading down a more and more of a hole, because when there's someone like me who just goes on there and looks at it, and the people might be doing all these fun activities and having all these expensive stuff, and I don't have it, I feel like, dang, I'm missing out.
Yeah, that's something else.
But I'm saying and when you're missing out, that's a big thing that social media adds. Like
FOMO.
The fear of missing out. Yeah, I know. I was just laughing.
But yeah, that's something else. Like it affects our perceptions of success just in general. Yeah. And like obviously, if you're like 21 and you're on social media all the time, you probably think that you're failing in life. Just in general, I can just make that guess right now. Because if you look at all these, there's a lot of like, because of social media, there's a lot of young people, there's a lot of young influencers that are making a lot of money and doing very flashy things with their money. Whether that be a nice vacation, whether that be a nice car, whatever it is, right? And when you're also young and you see that, you feel that like you, for having just a regular life, are failing.
Yeah.
And you project on yourself every day. When you see that, you're like, oh, I'm failing. Like I'm not doing this, so therefore I'm not doing what I need to be doing.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying that leads to like all these people, because you're never gonna record your worst moments.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because you're not gonna do that. So if you just keep going on social media and like maybe you're just not having a good day or a week, but you see everyone else doing all these like amazing things, you're just gonna feel like you're worse or you feel like you're missing out and all that. And that's what like the unrealistic expectations start to build up for yourself.
For sure.
Because even though there are TikTokers out there and all these YouTubers that are very young making way more money than all of us that we can even comprehend, that's a small amount of people in the world doing it. The amount of other people in the same boat as you is way more than the other people doing what they're doing. But we're too focused on the bigger stuff of the bigger people because they're the ones on social media. If you look around and see all the people that you went to high school with or you're in college with or whatever you are, they're all around the same level as you. You might be that one off person in high school. There's another famous TikToker in there, YouTuber, and I'm sorry, but that just happened. But it doesn't mean that you automatically put yourself down because you're still worth it and you can still do whatever you want to become bigger than them. Because not everything lasts forever, and at the same time, you can't let yourself start to like belittle yourself really. Sure. Because everyone else seems to be doing better than you when in reality it's really not.
Yeah, and there's two things that you can kind of do with that. When you're presented with an image of success, you can either say, oh, I should be there, and then use that to motivate you. You can say, oh, I should be there, so let me figure out what I need to do to get to that point. Mm-hmm. Or you can use it as an example of, oh, I'm not there, I'm never going to be there, or I can't be there. If I'm not there already, I can't be there. That's the problem. Because, like, if you look at people, like, not if you look at people who are not influencers, right? People are getting rich in their late 30s, late 40s, late 50s. You know what I'm saying? That's when a lot of people, like, social media gives a lot of people, a false expectation that it's easy. Mm-hmm. Because most people aren't, again, you're not going to talk about your worst moments. You're not going to talk about this or show the struggle, whatever you want to call it, the way to get there. Mm-hmm. You know of an influencer from the time that you discover them to whenever, and the time you discover them is usually 2 years after they started doing it, or 3 years, or 4 years, or 5 years after they started doing what they were doing. You know, and a lot of people don't see the whole picture and see that all of that is what's affecting you, and it gives people an excuse to also be obsessed with a shortcut. Mm-hmm. The shortcut that some people are,
especially younger people.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like just in general, people that we know, or just that we've seen, whatever, in high school, that they see that and they use that. Like it can be, whatever, a rapper, whatever, and they see that, okay, this is a shortcut. This is what I need to do to get to money, but it's never, obviously it's never that simple. Like most people know, it's never that simple, and there's nothing wrong with pursuing something like that, obviously, right? There's no problem with that. But if you're doing it because you see it as a shortcut and not because you really like to do that, then it just seems like a waste of time to me.
Yeah. And a big lesson I learned about posting stuff, the people that are really working and grinding for their goals aren't the ones on social media posting every step of what they're doing. They're the ones actually going out there and doing it. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot of things that go on, and if you're just always constantly checking it and posting yourself and then doing all of that, you're not focused on the main goal.
That's a good point. Like, as you're on the come up, you don't have to post everything. Like, people don't have to know that's what you're doing. And I think we've kind of been taught that if people don't know, it's not happening.
Yeah, and if you see on social media, like, someone holding a lot of money, or like they're out doing the thing you want to do. If they're out doing what you want to do, don't focus and get down because they're already out there doing it.
Yeah.
You just gotta get focused and do it yourself.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they might seem like they might have a lot of money, or that might be getting a lot of, I don't really think, I can't think of anything. Maybe
you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Like any social media makes us kind of see other people's success as a threat to our success, which in the right amount, it can be good because that can propel you forward and that can give you motivation. You're like, you know what, if I'm working this amount, someone's probably working double that amount. The thing is, it's a good thing to assume that. If you're assuming that, that's good because you can use that as motivation. But by seeing it, sometimes it makes you feel as though that's threatening you and threatening your success. And therefore, I have to do something else to shortcut my way to get up to speed with them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, let's say you see someone holding money and you're out here, like, starting a business and it's not going well right now or whatever.
You're just working like McDonald's.
And you're like, yeah, like you have plans, but you're working out slowly.
Yeah.
And you see someone else, you see someone posting with money on social media, and you're like, oh, I'm not there yet, and I need to be there now because he's there and I'm not there, and that means that I'm inferior to him and I need to get to him, which is the same thing, feeding your ego.
Yeah.
I need to be able to feel like I'm better than him, so I'm gonna quit my job, start selling drugs, something that's like quick or easier,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something that's easier that I can shortcut my way to get to his point so I can feel like I'm on the same level as him. And it's like you need other people's gratification to make you feel worthy of just talking anything, you know what I'm saying? Like to feel worthy of anything.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of it, like for me personally, when I see someone like that, it gives me motivation. Yeah. And it's not like that for everyone. That's why I feel like But I don't think you should use social media for motivation. That's not like the best motivation.
Right.
Because you get stuck in like a sinkhole going through a bunch of other stuff. But if maybe you are and you're not addicted to it, it is kind of a good motivation. Because if you see someone else making money, and you're just at home playing video games, I think it's a wake up call to get your lazy ass off the couch.
It can be, definitely.
It really can be, but it's not.
Those same people that are already not working or already just being lazy, they're the ones that are going to go straight for the shortcut when they see that, right? I mean, if you're not doing anything and you're lazy and you're just doing, or you see someone on Instagram like, oh, they're an influencer and they're making this amount of money, they're on this vacation, then you're like, oh, it must be easy. So then you start like being, those people will go straight for the shortcut. Someone who's lazy, someone who doesn't really care a lot, someone who's just kind of they don't know what they're doing with their life, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but they're doing the situation they're in is by choice, and they see something where it seems like an easy way to get money. They're gonna jump for the shortcut and not go through the work. Yeah, they're the ones that are gonna easily be made prey by the system. Yeah, and on the other hand, people who are insecure, people who have anxiety, whatever, by seeing things on social media or the news or whatever, they can also be prey to that easier than if they weren't on social media.
Not everything is right for everyone, because maybe you don't care about going out there and grinding your ass off to get a good job and all that paying stuff. As long as maybe you're happy and you live in you don't have to live in a mansion. I'm saying.
Oh well, yeah.
That.
I think the way I would put it is like, as long as you have. Don't try to change your situation based only on what someone else is doing, just because that's what they're doing, and you want to feel up to speed with them. If what you're doing is part of your plan that you have for your life and the way that you know that you want to live or have to live, then that's right for you. Everyone's different. Everyone's situation is different. Don't do it. Don't change that just so that you can feel like you're on the same level as someone else.
Yeah, it's like the unrealistic expectations. Is because you go on social media and you see all these rich people with the mansions and the nice cars and like the best looking like wife or husband or whatever, and then that kind of makes you see that everyone else has that. That kind of builds a false expectation that you feel like you should have that because maybe you say, you see that guy driving that really nice car, you're like, dang, I really want to drive that nice car too, but you don't really care actually, and it doesn't mean that you can't want to go out and drive a Ferrari or anything. but that might not be something you really want to do. It's just that you see that everyone else is doing it, so that kind of makes you want to go out and do it too.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it also builds on top of like, if someone else has something you don't, then there's nothing wrong with that. And if you want it, just go out and work for it. Because, like, what is it? I would say like 90% of the people, especially all of the really, really rich people, they all worked for what they have. They didn't just blow up.
That's not true.
I could then.
I don't know, but I just know that there are definitely situations. Influencers or people who get inheritances for sure. That's one of the situations. And I mean, I don't know. There's some people that blow up that you be looking at them like, why did you blow up?
Well, I mean, because if you, in the grand scheme of things, when you see Lil Pump blow up and he makes all this money, he's spending all this dumb money, it's still not compared to like Facebook, the owners of Facebook, and that. I'm saying because the people and he's definitely running low on money because he's not. I
don't know.
I mean, the thing is, but when you grind for it and then you know what that money is worth. When you're the person who just blows up and just has money and you're spending it here and there, you don't really know what that money is worth. It has to come more. I feel it's gonna definitely be more of a gratification to spend money that you really worked hard for.
Yeah.
Like those rappers that have been rapping out for years and years and then finally get that one break they have and blow up. Mm-hmm. That's like them getting that money definitely is way more than someone's first song just drops and just blows up.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean. That's true. You gotta learn the value based on.
Well, let's get a little bit more on topic. I feel like with social media.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that was what. But I feel like another thing is when people, and we've seen this between some of our friends, and maybe we felt it. I kind of feel it when like as another kind of like a thing when you see other people on it, like rich people. You see how good looking they are and stuff like that. It kind of makes you feel like you're ugly. Not like ugly, but you don't feel like you're as good looking compared to other people.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mentioned. Like people who are already insecure, already have like tendencies to be insecure.
Yeah.
When you go on there, you go on someone on social media and like blows up even more in your face. Like it's right there.
Mm-hmm. Just because you're not as good looking as the next celebrity doesn't mean that you're a bad looking person. To be honest, there really is no ugly people because it's all preference.
Well, for one, there's obviously no such thing as objective beauty.
Yeah.
It is all subjective. It is all preference. But, yeah, I know. There's no point in me going.
There's never been a time where you've liked a girl so much that you would definitely choose her over, like, a celebrity.
Well, obviously. Because
but that's what I'm saying. It's preference.
Talking about personality?
Well, I mean, but I'm saying you start... But just because...
But it's because nobody chooses someone to actually be in a relationship with just based off.
But I mean, there's definitely been times where
Zendaya pulled up right now and said like, well, okay, never mind. I don't know. But the point is like, if you don't know them, like you're just not gonna like, unless you're really, really shallow. I don't know.
I'm like a kid swimming pool out here.
I got it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, just in general, social media, it creates a mob mentality because everybody wants to be liked, as we said before. Everybody wants to be liked. Everyone wants to be in a group, popular, whatever. So, because of that, we want to subscribe to what the mob is, what they believe, so that we can be a part of that group. And we want to make sure that we don't say anything that they disagree with so that we don't fall out of that group. And obviously, a lot of people have been hearing the words, this term thrown around a lot recently, which is cancel culture, which obviously is really made by social media. That's what not made by, but what's the word? You know, it made it a lot more serious.
Yeah, because cancel culture, if you think about it, like I forgot who I watched about it, but if you get canceled, there's no serious thing. You still just go on and live your life. It's just the people now on the internet.
Not necessarily, because sometimes people will be so quick to go for your job.
That's true.
Go for your job, go for your employer, whatever. And I don't know, because I don't really think that.
No,
I don't think that you shouldn't be held accountable for what you say. But the problem is that a lot of times with cancel culture, at least recently, it's not about what you say, it's about how quickly people see it.
Yeah.
And most people are not being encouraged to look into the situation and see what's going on. So if somebody posts something and you're like, this looks like it's something that socially, me posting it, it would earn me points with people. You're just gonna post it. You're just gonna go for it. You don't want to be a part of the other, so you're gonna post it. Even if you don't know exactly what the situation is, you're gonna post it and you're gonna make it big. And a lot of times, when it gets big, a lot of times nobody looks at it before it gets big.
That's what she said.
When the situation is big, when everybody knows, and everyone has already adopted, like let's say somebody spreads just any rumor, whatever it is, it might be at the point where 5 million people are posting on it about it before someone's like, wait a minute, this isn't even true, and at that point it's just too late. Like there's enough people believe it to just that's your identity now, and I think it's just bad because it discourages people from challenging any sort of status quo. It discourages people from trying to have their own opinions on anything because you don't know how somebody's gonna see it or interpret it or whatever.
And that's the main problem, like you said, is it's how fast it is, because everyone's so fast to jump on the train to go start blaming someone for something before really looking at true facts, evidence, and also how they're following a certain creator. If we've seen other YouTubers try to cancel other YouTubers, and since my favorite YouTuber is trying to cancel this person, you automatically just jump on and do it without even knowing what's going on. I feel like people really need to understand what's going on before that stuff happens. Obviously, there's definitely people that deserve to get canceled, like Shane Dawson. Like what he was doing.
I don't even know. I didn't look too much into it, but
he was doing is kind of bad.
It was weird. I don't even know how to
but there's
feel about that.
I feel like when there's real proof, then it's all right. But when it's just so many allegations, it's kind of hard.
When it's real, it doesn't even matter. The point is that most people, even in the Shane Dawson situation, they weren't really making their own opinions. Like they weren't looking at whatever he did and deciding, I think that's bad. I think that's weird, but not that bad. I think that's totally okay. I don't know who's saying that, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Most people are looking at it, and instead of looking at it and taking a step back, saying, "Okay, what is this?" They look at it and they go in the comments and see people saying this is disgusting. Like, oh yeah, you know it's disgusting.
You know what also leads into it? I feel like I'm not trying to say anything they did was right, but for other people, things that were back then, not even like 5 years ago, were way different on the internet than they are now. Yeah. There's definitely a lot more things that were said back then that cannot be said now. And I mean, you could go both sides how you like it. I guess, I mean, obviously there's a lot of jokes. Like, the jokes should not be said, really. But at the same time, they're kind of jokes. And you kind of... sometimes I kind of wish that everyone wasn't so, sensitive. Yeah, everyone wasn't so sensitive to it. But there's definitely things that shouldn't be joked about.
I think that the problem is that the internet can decide your fate. The internet can decide what you're doing. And they can decide it at their discretion, not necessarily depending on the facts. The facts don't necessarily drive their decision, or just people in general. But just especially on social media, the facts don't drive the decision. It's whatever the social climate is. People want to find somebody that they can put as the figurehead of a problem, because they don't want to realize that these problems, these ideas that are just so deep in our society, they don't want to realize that we have to work together to stop these ideas and really destroy them. So we want to put a figurehead, and we say, if we destroy this person, then we're really doing our part, or we're on the way to stopping this problem completely. And I think in the process of creating that thing, creating that mob mentality, now we have people. We kind of create this environment where people are afraid to challenge the general idea of any opinions or beliefs. So even if someone's not disagreeing with the belief, someone can't really question the origin of the belief or the possible repercussions of the opinion, because people will automatically slap them with a label like racist or whatever. And I think that it creates an unhealthy space for just an unhealthy environment for discussion and anything that would really help educate anybody.
I'm saying you say just the main real problem is how fast it goes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
I don't think so.
What do you say?
Well, I think that's one of the main problems, I would say. But for me personally, the main problem that I believe is the fact that people usually don't come to their own conclusions.
That's
Because say what you're gonna say.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of it is people just following someone else, really, and not finding everything to do it. Because if there's a person that's getting canceled, and I feel like if you want to join in on that, it's all right. But I feel like the more right thing is to kind of research what exactly they're being canceled for. Because
I would say do that before you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Before you do it, obviously, because because there's definitely some things that shouldn't be on the internet, and I guess that's what the main focus of cancel culture is, just to get things that are off the internet that really shouldn't be there. But then we got to make sure that we're not putting someone up on trial for something they didn't do or something that wasn't really as bad as everyone's putting it out to be.
Yeah, and I think that when you look at somebody, if you had to look 10 years in someone's path to find something wrong that they said, I think it's kind of foolish to act like the social climate hasn't changed at all since then. And a lot of the people who are quick to cancel somebody for something they said a long time ago, themselves a long time ago were acting certain ways. You don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the story of every single person, but the chances that every single person that participates in these things has a squeaky clean resume, never made a single "hi, you're gay" joke in their whole life. The amount of people that are like that are probably so slim, and it just makes us feel like, oh, these people, these celebrities, whatever, they need to be perfect. They need to be perfect images of whatever.
I think our age is actually almost the perfect age where we kind of recognize some of those problems.
Yeah.
I feel like it's when it's younger or older people. I feel like the younger ones are mainly just following and running out to go cancel someone. Okay. But I feel like more people our age, maybe it's just us, I guess, but I feel like it really is that we recognize that some things people do aren't that bad. I mean, because we know, like you said, if there's if someone made a gay joke 10 years ago, we know that back then we've definitely done the same thing. So it doesn't make it okay.
But we can recognize that we changed.
Yeah.
So if you can recognize that you could change, you're like, all right, well then that person could change too.
Yeah.
And I think that no matter what, especially with a celebrity, it's not really your place to cancel them based on a comment, because you don't really know how they act in their private life. You can decide, you know what, I don't really want to support them, I guess. But I just feel like we are too quick to make our judgment about them based on the way that they act on social media. But at the end of the day, they're a celebrity and they project an image just like any of us. More so than any of us, because they have an actual brand that they have to do. So I wouldn't try to pick apart someone's personality based on a brand they're trying to do, because that's not their real self.
I feel like a main thing people don't recognize with social media, that a lot of things could a lot of things that could be resolved is just by ignoring the other person. And if someone's bothering you, block them, ignore them. Just don't do any of this. When people let into that, it's kind of dumb. Like I said, there's very easy ways to just stop getting all of that. But social media isn't. I mean, maybe for bigger YouTubers, if they get canceled, people will actually show up to them and notice them and recognize them. But other
saying that the people who are being canceled should ignore the other people.
Well, I mean, I feel like just ignoring is the best way to just deal with a lot of things on social media.
I agree, but I think that if you're being canceled, ignoring isn't going to do anything.
That's true. But look, like I said, if someone's getting canceled and then all this shit's going on the internet, and they're just not going on the internet and not seeing any of it, nothing happened to them.
Well, I know. Well, not necessarily, because sometimes they get people fired, they get people whatever.
But most people that are big YouTubers aren't working a real job anyways.
Okay, they can still get sponsorships from them, whatever. It can affect people.
Oh, no, it definitely can. Because
but I think
it's Shane Dawson got all of his pulled.
Yeah.
And then, I remember, drama that happened with, all the more famous YouTubers with makeup. Like a lot of them got like their
I don't even
makeup
know.
stuff taken out of certain
Oh, for
stores.
real? I didn't even know.
Yeah,
that.
there were certain sponsors that definitely dropped them from like random drama and
Yeah,
that stuff.
that's what I'm saying. And I think the reason why people would rather not ignore is because I think that society, well, not society, mainly social media, sensationalizes conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want to be involved in something, you want to be like you'd rather have an altercation than not, just because it's exciting. Because you can also because you can show it, you can screenshot whatever, post it, and show people that look at me, I'm standing up to this guy for whatever you wanna. It makes you feel like conflict is more fun. It gives you more of a reason to be a part of conflict. Of course, mob mentality in general, you just feel like you're part of something. Like you're helping stop racism in America by tweeting hashtag fuck whoever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like
it's
all
there's a lot of that's what I'm saying. A lot of it is more negative than more of just trying to find the balance of what would actually fix the problem. I would say, you say too.
Yeah.
And also with other like just negative things on social media, a lot of people go to start hating on someone so quickly too. That also goes to that. Even for like us, I don't mean us as us. When I say us, I mean like people around our age.
Okay.
If you see someone like doing something on social media, like one of your first things to do is kind of hate. If you feel like if someone's at a party and then you weren't invited and you're not there, the first thing is kind of hate. You want to hate kind of because you're like you want to assume that party's kind of lame and they're just like playing it off as being fun. Or if everyone's doing stuff, you kind of it's always kind of like a thing now you just go to hate. That I feel like more of like maybe I guess what I was saying before with ignoring. It's better for your mind to just ignore that and realize what you got. And like sometimes just like the most small positivity is like just a little thing to start something up. And that's why I'm saying sometimes I only go to social media now to see if I see someone doing something, it's more like a positive thing.
Yeah, it's definitely.
But like I feel like a lot of people are more focused on the negative things. If someone's doing something, you want to think of it like that. But you don't even have to be positive. You could just focus on yourself.
You can just be indifferent. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to engage in it. If it's, I mean, obviously you all heard like your mom say this. I don't know if it's just like me, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people heard this. Like if your mom ever say, "Oh, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all," whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, just in general, I think it's a good thing to just shift. We had to like shift from feeling like we're missing out, and then trying to justify that by hating on the person or whatever, to just like just having a more positive reaction to things, just in general around you, like putting more positive energy out from you, because obviously that affects everything. Because if you're telling yourself that this person's bad, or you're telling yourself that you're missing out, then obviously you're gonna start feeling that about yourself. So you need to just be more positive.
I mean, yeah. One of the things we want to do. So we're always mainly positive with each other, and even when we're not, it's more like constructive criticism than anything else. And I feel like it's almost like I want to like challenge everyone to do this. It's just to like be a little bit more positive. And I'm not trying to say that in a corny way like school does it, but it honestly does feel a different way, because even though when someone tries to hate on me, I ignore it, but it's not the same for everyone. You don't know how someone else is doing when you're not around them. So instead of thinking or hating or doing something, kind of keep it to yourself and maybe just be more positive and try to help someone out. There's always someone out there that needs your help, but there's never someone that needs to be like criticized and put down about. Oh, I guess constructive criticism is good, yes, but not literally
just like if you don't have the intention of helping them make their craft or whatever better, then just don't. There's no point.
But another one a main one that a lot of high schoolers, because we're in high school, so I especially know, I don't know how middle school is doing it, but probably middle school, is like the addiction to social media and how it does. Because, I've definitely seen kids go to the principal's office for no reason or IS just because they won't get off their phone.
Well, I don't think that's a social media addiction thing, though. I think it's a pride thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess
I don't think that people really just cannot put their... Well, some people can. But I don't think the reason that they're getting sent to the principal's office or whatever is because they can't get off their phone.
Sure.
Because it's a pride thing. If you don't want to feel like someone you can't tell me like there's the people it connects back to ego also. That's your ego. You really feel like people are gonna see you as less of a person because you listen to a teacher. I think that's really what it is, like a pride. Like you don't want to feel like teachers telling you what to do, teachers controlling me or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they want to be.
But we also talk about. That's a good point you made. But addiction with like how people are always on it. You see people like walking in the hallway just on their phone, and they can't even like. There's no more real social interactions anymore because a lot of people.
Corny, bro. That sounds so like.
It really is corny, but it really is true.
You think that's true? I don't think that's true.
Because I think there's definitely less.
I mean, sure, you could make the. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you could just. I think it's kind of like dramatic to be like, oh, people don't even socialize anymore.
That wasn't my main point. But I kind of
no, I know, but like I'm just saying, like I've heard that like so much.
Yeah,
but I don't think that's really the case. I think it's just you make the choices of how you're gonna interact with people in your life, and I guess there's some people that really just don't get off their phone ever. Yeah. But if you're making, you can only control yourself. So you just gotta make your own ways to like.
The main problem,
them, or not help them, just interact with people in general.
I'm dead as you'd go out with friends, and I've definitely had this. You go out with friends. Let's say you all go out to like some restaurant. Like for us, for me, sometimes I go with friends. I go to ale house. We would all be sitting around a table. Everyone's just on their phones, or we'd all even when I went to go play sports. It's not. Everyone's just on their phones.
How you on your phone while you playing sports? That don't make sense.
No, like when we're waiting in between games, everyone has to go check their phone. Everyone has to do this. I just want to get a game. And
I mean, when I go you're not wrong. You just sound like a boomer. That's all I'm saying.
I don't give a shit. Some of y'all get off your fucking phone. Like, bro, like if I go when me and you together, we're never really on our phones. And if we are, that's not even true. No, we are. But we
be talking like at the same time.
All right, but like anyone else, a lot of people will go out and just be on their fucking phone and not having a casual conversation. If I go out and eat, if I go out and spend my time with people. I want to be talking to people and doing things. I don't want to be seeing your faces on phones. I don't care how old I sound.
No, you're right. I know what you mean though, because it do be kind of annoying sometimes. And I don't know. For me, I think we just hang out with different people.
No, there's definitely people.
Like, there have been times when that has happened to me, or like if we were both like together and like we were at a place like just like going to eat or something like that. But I feel like the scenarios that I find myself in, it's harder for that to happen.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, let's say you're like at a party, something like. Some people are obviously going to be on their phone, but like it's different. It's a different situation.
There's definitely like someone I met, and she was literally every time we hung out, she would never go on her phone. Okay. And she would and I actually really liked that. And I'm not talking about as like I liked her because of that, but I like that in a person.
You notice it, like all right, like
because I like to go out and have social interactions and talk to people, and not have you just be on your phone. And even though I talk a lot, so there's a lot I had to talk about, but. But the thing, that's what I'm saying, even just that, like getting the attention of someone because they're not on their phone is just kind of a small gratification I have. And I feel like a lot of people have that too, they just don't like to talk about it.
I respect that. I don't know. I think it's just like people are the way they are. Some people are. Like I'm not going to try to get you off your phone. Like I'm going to just stop hanging out with you. Like it's just that simple.
That's true.
But no, I definitely agree that some people will be like that. But I feel like I've really made an effort to surround myself with people that aren't like that.
That's true.
Because basically everyone that I have close to me, I can have a really good like conversation.
Nowadays I do, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It sucked, but at one point you just gotta be like, well, I gotta switch up my social group.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there's a point having Instagram? Because for not just Instagram, that's what I have, but a lot of social media. Because now that like lately I've been kind of fighting over myself if I should just delete it or not. Because at this point, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the reasons why I have is for, like unrealistic things. Because obviously, for me, I
just got it. Like what you're trying to say.
For that's me, funny. Realistically, I only have it. I don't even care if I come out. Who gives a shit? But I only really have it. So if like it just happened to like some female hit me up, or if like there's a female I see and I hit her up and that's it. That's really only it at this point. Because we could talk. Me and you could talk on iMessage. All my friends, I could talk on iMessages, and I don't have to see them on like Instagram and all that. Yeah. So that's all I have. But that's what's stopping me from like deleting Instagram, which is kind of bad.
I don't know. It's just
really
funny sometimes. So that's why I be on it. It'd be funny sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Instagram for us,
I'd be needing that.
For us, it's just the memes at this point.
I'd be needing that, to be honest. But yeah,
I'm not gonna. That'll be on the next video I was thinking about.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know what
so
you say.
So,
But yeah, I think we're pretty much wrapped up here.
Mhm.
We got a good discussion in. If you guys have any opinions on this video, on this topic, you can drop them in the comments section. Anything that you want to say about it, anything you think that we left out that we didn't talk about that we
Mhm.
should have talked about, because obviously this is a really massive topic.
Yeah.
Just like especially in this generation or whatever. So there's a lot that can be said about this. So I want to reach out to you and continue the discussion for whatever you want to say. And yeah, one more thing before we go, I really just want to say that we're encouraging you. We're both encouraging you. Go out there and have a meaningful conversation with somebody.
Mhm.
Learn about somebody's views that you might not know what their views are. Get to know somebody more deeply. Just do it. And I think it's, for me, it's entertaining. If it's not for you, then I'm not gonna say that you need to do that or you're just a bad person. But yeah, I think it's definitely something that you should do. If you haven't done it today, go text him, hit him up, be like, "Yo, let's talk about philosophy." But yeah, thank you guys for watching. You already know, drop a like, subscribe.
Mhm.
If you could do that, that'd be really heartfelt. I will personally find you, send you a thank you note in the mail. I will not do that. But yeah, I really appreciate that.
And if anyone still wants to come on as a guest and wants to bring their own topic to discuss about, we love that.
We got a
too.
space right here. But only if like we know you, not some random people. But yeah.
Actually, I'm like, if you cute, maybe.
No.